Namaskar, my name is Karan Venkatesh and you're watching Constitution of India Decoded at Tarkwad. Welcome back to a comprehensive breakdown of fundamental rights. In part 1, we build the foundation with equality and freedom. Now we complete our journey by exploring your rights to education, against exploitation, and to religion and cultural freedom. Before finally revealing the powerful tool that makes all these rights a reality, we concluded last time with the majestic Article 21, the right to life and personal liberty. Building directly on that, Article 21A was introduced to make free and compulsory education for all children aged 6 to 14 a fundamental right. It recognizes that for a life of dignity, education is indispensable. Next, we have the right against exploitation. Article 23 prohibits human trafficking and forced labor. It makes these practices punishable offenses. Article 24 is a crucial protection for our children. It prohibits the employment of children below the age of 14 in any factory, mine, or other hazardous employment. India's secular character is upheld in the right to freedom of religion. Article 25 guarantees all persons the freedom of conscience and the right to freely profess, practice, and propagate their religion. Article 26 gives every religious denomination the right to manage its own religious affairs. Article 27 states that no person shall be compelled to pay any taxes for the promotion of any particular religion. Article 28 prohibits religious instruction in any educational institution wholly maintained by state funds. To preserve our incredible diversity, we have the cultural and educational rights. Article 29 protects the interests of minorities by allowing any section of citizens with a distinct language, script, or culture to conserve the same. Article 30 gives all religious and linguistic minorities the right to establish and administer educational institutions of their choice. And now we arrive at the most critical right, the one that breathes life into all the others. The right to constitutional remedies, that is Article 32. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar called this the heart and soul of the Constitution. Article 32 gives you the right to move the Supreme Court directly for the enforcement of your fundamental rights. The court can issue orders or writs to command the state to uphold your rights. This is not just a remedy, it's a fundamental right in itself. Finally, let's briefly cover the remaining articles which are enabling and limiting provisions. Article 31, that is right to property, was originally a fundamental right but is now a legal right. Article 31A, 31B, 31C protects certain laws related to agrarian reform and directive principles from being challenged. Article 33 allows Parliament to restrict these rights for the armed forces and police. Article 34 provides for restrictions while martial law is in force. Article 35 gives Parliament the power to make laws to give effect to these rights. And there you have it, from Article 12 to 35, a complete shield against the arbitrary exercise of power. Part 3 is the dynamic core of our democracy, balancing individual liberty with social control. Now that we fully understand the rights of the people, it's time to ask, what are the duties of the state? In our next chapter, we will explore the directive principles of state policy, the DPSP, the Constitution's moral compass for governance. If you feel more empowered as a citizen after watching these two videos, please share this knowledge. Let us know in the comments how Article 32, the right to remedies, changes your perspective. Thank you for watching. Until next time, protect your rights and stay decoded. Namaskar.